Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Polish ebook before it's gone.
Cześć, mam na imię Joanna. Tak samo jak w wielu innych krajach, w Polsce nowy rok rozpoczyna się z dniem 1 stycznia. Ale dla Polaków to noc poprzedzająca ten dzień jest najważniejsza. To właśnie wtedy świętuje się nadejście nowego roku. W całym kraju organizowane są huczne imprezy i przyjęcia, na których nie może zabraknąć dobrego jedzenia, alkoholu i grona rodzinnego czy też przyjaciół. I właśnie o tym dziś Wam opowiem. Jak po polsku nazywamy noc poprzedzającą pierwszy dzień nowego roku? Podam Wam odpowiedź na końcu tego filmu. Polacy hucznie obchodzą noc w Wigilię Nowego Roku i istnieje legenda wyjaśniająca, dlaczego świętujemy właśnie wtedy. Według przepowiedni głoszącej koniec świata w nocy na przełomie wieków, potwór Lewiatan, uwięziony wcześniej przez papieża Sylwestra, miał się przebudzić i ziejąc siarką i ogniem zniszczyć świat. Lewiatan nie uwolnił się jednak i ludzie przepełnieni radością wylegli na ulicę, tańcząc, śpiewając i pijąc wino. Tak oto rozpoczęła się tradycja, a jej nazwa pochodzi od imienia ówczesnego papieża. Tak jak w legendzie, dziś świętujemy hucznie w gronie najlepszych przyjaciół i znajomych. Przez cały wieczór w Wigilię Nowego Roku bawimy się na specjalnie zorganizowanych dancingach, uroczystych obiadach, a także na tzw. domówkach i imprezach plenerowych w miastach, gdzie za darmo możemy szaleć przy muzyce największych polskich gwiazd muzyki i kabaretu. Największe organizowane są na Placu Konstytucji w Warszawie i na Rynku Głównym w Krakowie, gdzie liczba uczestników dochodzi nawet do 20 000. Młodzi często bawią się w przebraniach, które zawsze są najlepsze, jeśli wykonane samemu. Dokładnie o północy w całej Polsce robi się prawie tak jasno jak w dzień. Nadejście Nowego Roku witamy zawsze szampanem i fajerwerkami, które to puszczane są nie tylko na imprezach plenerowych organizowanych przez miasta, ale także przez zwykłych ludzi, na ulicach przed domami. Wychodzimy wtedy z domów, by podziwiać fajerwerki rozbłyskujące z każdej strony. Telefony nieustannie dzwonią, bo jedną z tradycji jest składanie sobie życzeń na Nowy Rok. Czy wiecie, że Polacy uwielbiają składać sobie życzenia przy każdej okazji? Jeśli wyjdziecie na zewnątrz oglądać fajerwerki, nie zdziwcie się, jeśli obcy ludzie będą was ściskać i mówić szczęśliwego Nowego Roku. A teraz odpowiedź na wcześniejsze pytanie. Jak po polsku nazywamy noc poprzedzającą pierwszy dzień Nowego Roku? Noc 31 grudnia nazywamy Sylwester. Pamiętacie legendę o złowrogim potworze Lewiatanie? Papież, który go uwięził, nazywał się Sylwester I, tak samo jak jego następca Sylwester II, który był papieżem na przełomie wieków. I jak Wam się podobała ta lekcja? Dowiedzieliście się czegoś interesującego? Jak w Waszym kraju obchodzi się Nowy Rok? Zostawcie komentarz na polishpod101.com. Do zobaczenia następnym razem.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is how to learn a language in 2022. If you're planning to learn a language in 2022, then this episode is for you, especially if you want to finally succeed with your New Year's resolution, instead of failing or giving up in the next week or two. That's why today you'll discover 1. The 4 critical steps you need to take when learning a new language, and 2. How to set goals and New Year's resolutions that won't fail you in 2022. But first, if you're looking for some free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Using Opposites Conversation Cheat Sheet. With this new cheat sheet, you'll learn common opposite adjectives like near and far, hot and cold, and grammar rules on how to use these words in a sentence. Second, the How to Say Goodbye PDF Writing Workbook. With this printable PDF, you'll pick up some common parting greetings and be able to practice writing them out. Third, can you talk about cars in your target language? Learn how to say words like tire, windshield, headlights, and more with this quick vocab bonus. Fourth, must know words and phrases for public transportation. Learn how to say ticket, bus, train, and much more with this quick 1-minute lesson. Fifth, the 10 habits of highly effective language learners. Wondering which habits will help you succeed with language learning? Then check out this free lesson. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. How to learn a language in 2022. Part 1. The 4 critical steps you need to take when learning a new language. Every time you start a new language, you should start with 1. Goals, 2. Anchor points, 3. Grammar, 4. Reading. What are these 4 steps, and why do you need them to succeed with language learning? Let's jump in. The first one is goals. Everything starts with a goal, but your goal itself can also lead you to failure if you don't set it the right way. So more specifically, you need to set small, measurable monthly goals instead of just, I want to learn a language and be fluent this year. We'll cover goals in the second part of this episode, so stay tuned. After goals, the second step is setting anchor points. What are anchor points? Imagine a small ship in the middle of a big lake. It's windy, lots of waves, and the ship is bobbing up and down, drifting all around. What would you use to stop the ship from drifting away? An anchor. And just like an anchor keeps the ship in place, anchor points keep you from drifting away from your language. So an anchor point is a connection to the language that keeps you attached to the language and motivated to learn the language. One great example is language school. Imagine you signed up and paid thousands of dollars up front. Paying that much would motivate you to make the most of your time there. It's also a big commitment, one that you can't easily back out of. And school dictates your schedule. You have to wake up early, you have to do homework. Your life revolves around the classes. And as such, language school and the language itself become anchor points that your life revolves around. Anchor points can also be family or a partner that speaks the language you're learning. You're around them, you're exposed to the language, so your motivation to learn gets a bit stronger. Buying a language learning program or textbook are also examples of good anchor points. You invested your hard-earned money, which means you're serious about learning. Plus, you want to make sure your investment doesn't go to waste, so you're more motivated. If you're wondering if you have any anchor points, you already have at least one. You're watching our lessons on YouTube. But the more anchor points you have, the stronger your motivation will be. So if you're into music or TV shows in your target language, those can serve as anchor points too. These are things that connect you to the language and add a bit of motivation to learn more, or at the very least, understand what you're watching or listening to. We covered goals and anchor points. What's next? The third step is you must have a good grasp of grammar of your native language. Now, you might wonder, if you're learning a new language, why focus on your native language? Well, as native speakers, the problem is we know what good grammar sounds like, but we can't explain how or why our language works the way it works. So if you don't have a good grasp of grammar, the backbone or the rules of a language, then you'll have a tough time learning a new language. You'll jump in and start learning words and phrases, but you'll never learn how to put them together and make sentences. That's a common problem beginners have. Now, if you already know the grammar of your native language, how do you apply that to your target language? For example, if you're an English speaker, and if you know that English sentences follow the subject, verb, object pattern, and if you know that languages have specific sentence patterns, then you'd go look at patterns. Then you'd have a good idea of how to create your own sentences, instead of learning random words first. Finally, the fourth step is reading. Reading is good simply because you can do it anywhere, anytime, and without a teacher. It's a skill you can get started on day one, on your own. Reading also tends to spill over into other areas. The more you read, the more words and grammar rules you come across, so you boost your vocabulary and grammar, which can seep into speaking and listening. If you read out loud, you're practicing two skills at once. Now, we've covered what you need. goals, anchor points, reading, and grammar. Setting anchor points, knowing your own grammar, and reading are simple enough, but how do you set goals that don't lead you to failure? Part 2. How to set goals and New Year's resolutions that won't fail you in 2022. The goal that you set can make or break your language learning journey, so setting the right goals makes all the difference between success and failure. Just think about all of the common New Year's resolutions. What comes to mind? Goals like, I want to be fluent someday. I want to speak the language. I want to lose weight. I want to save more money. These big, vague goals often lead to failure because you simply have no idea how to approach the goal and you don't know what you're aiming for. Instead, your goals should be small, measurable, and monthly. For example, speak 1 minute of conversation by the end of the month. Learn 100 words by the end of the month. Finish Chapter 1 of your language textbook by the end of the month. If you're using our program, finish 20 audio lessons by the end of the month. All of these are small and specific. 1 minute, 100 words, 1 chapter, 20 audio lessons. This means that they're easy to reach, unlike something vague like fluency. They're also measurable. You know when you reach 1 minute. You can check if you know all 100 words or if you finished all 20 lessons. If you aim for fluency, you won't know when you hit it. It's too vague and too big of a goal, and it may take years to hit. Finally, all of these goals have a deadline, the end of the month. That would mean January 31st of this year. Deadlines give you a clear date to aim for, and without one, you'll forever be floating around without much progress. So set a deadline for the end of every month. So now that you know how to set small, measurable monthly goals, leave us a comment. What's your small, measurable monthly goal, and what's the deadline? So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye!
Cześć, mam na imię Joanna. Tym razem opowiem Wam o bardzo ciekawym święcie zwanym w Polsce Mikołajki. Jest to dzień, który przypomina nam, że już tuż święta Bożego Narodzenia. Ale zanim nadejdzie 24 grudzień, przyjrzyjmy się dniu 6 grudnia, który jest czasem na sekretne podarunki. Podarunki od kogo? Oczywiście od świętego Mikołaja. Zgadza się, do nas Mikołaj przychodzi 2 razy w roku. Co w przeszłości robił Mikołaj, jeśli w domu odwiedzanego dziecka znalazł brudne buty? Podam Wam odpowiedź na końcu tego filmu. W Polsce dzień 6 grudnia jest dniem, kiedy w przeszłości świętowano pamięć o świętym Mikołaju z Miry, który był postacią autentyczną. Historia głosi, że otrzymał on wielki majątek w spadku po rodzicach i że rozdał go potrzebującym, nigdy nie żądając niczego w zamian. Święty jest patronem między innymi dzieci, dlatego też to właśnie one są w centrum uwagi 6 grudnia. Obecnie dobrotliwego biskupa zastąpił Mikołaj w czerwonym stroju, ale idea sekretnego obdarowywania się drobnymi upominkami przetrwała do dziś. W Polsce każde dziecko wie, że w nocy z 5 na 6 grudnia, kiedy wszyscy smacznie śpią, przychodzi Mikołaj i zostawia małe prezenty pod poduszką, ale oczywiście tylko tych dzieci, które były grzeczne w tym roku. W innych regionach Mikołaj sprawdza buty domowników. Jeśli są czyste i ładnie ustawione, włoży do nich jakieś łakocie. W domach Mikołajami są oczywiście rodzice, jeśli dzieci są małe, ale z wiekiem i one przygotowują małe podarunki dla rodziców. W tym dniu w przedszkolach i szkołach podstawowych zwykle nie ma lekcji lub są one skrócone. Organizowane są specjalne zabawy, których najważniejszym punktem jest zawsze niespodziewane pojawienie się Mikołaja z wielkim workiem wypełnionym prezentami. Bardzo często, by otrzymać prezent, trzeba zaśpiewać Mikołajowi piosenkę lub powiedzieć wierszyk. W Mikołajki cała zabawa polega na tym, by prezent przekazać sekretnie. Jeśli robimy to w domu, zwykle wiąże się to z pobudką w środku nocy. Jeśli mamy prezent dla kogoś spoza domu, wtedy tym bardziej musimy wykazać się sprytem i pomysłowością. A teraz odpowiedź na wcześniejsze pytanie. Co w przeszłości robił Mikołaj, jeśli w domu odwiedzanego dziecka znalazł brudne buty? Zastanawiam się, czy ktoś zgadł, co też Mikołaj robi, jeśli zamiast czystych butów zostanie je w nieładzie i brudne. Wtedy niestety możemy zapomnieć o miłym upominku. Co znajdziemy w naszych butach? Zgniłego ziemniaka. I jak Wam się podobała ta lekcja? Dowiedzieliście się czegoś interesującego? Czy w Waszym kraju też świętuje się Mikołajki? Zostawcie komentarz na polishpod101.com. Do zobaczenia następnym razem!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is, are you an introvert or an extrovert? And how to speak more of your target language. Since you're learning the language, then you're very much aware of the importance of speaking, which can be easy if you're an extrovert or hard if you're an introvert. So, how can you speak more if you're on the shy side? Keep watching this month's episode. You'll discover who learns faster, extroverts or introverts, why learning a language can help you become more extroverted, and 5 ways to speak more, even if you're an introvert. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Sport and Exercise Conversation Cheat Sheet. Want to talk about fitness in your target language? You'll learn over 50 words and phrases for sports and exercise with this brand new cheat sheet. Second, the 40 words and phrases for ordering food writing workbook. With this free resource, you'll pick up must-know words and phrases for the restaurant and practice writing them out as well. Third, the top 12 April Fool's phrases. Want to be able to say some outrageous phrases in your target language for April Fool's Day? Then you'll want this April Fool's phrase list. Fourth, can you talk about your bones in your target language? Learn how to say words like skull, ribs, spine, and much more with this quick vocab bonus. Fifth, 20 must-know jewelry vocabulary. Do you know how to say earrings or necklace in your target language? If you don't, then this vocab lesson is for you. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? And how to speak more of your target language. Part 1. Do extroverts or introverts learn languages faster? If you've ever wondered whether introverts or extroverts learn the language faster, there have been studies done on this. And as you'd expect, extroverts do have an advantage when it comes to speaking and overall conversational skills. Of course, these studies didn't take into account mistakes you may make, such as grammar, vocab, etc. And introverts? Introverts tend to observe and listen more, and tend to be better listeners. Do you agree with these findings? Leave a comment. So the key takeaway is they each have their own advantages. One has something that the other lacks. And that makes sense, doesn't it? If you speak less, your speaking skills will be weaker. And if you want to just speak a lot, you get good at speaking but miss out on the other skills, like listening and reading. So unfortunately, you can't really say who learns faster based on personality alone, just that each one has their advantages and disadvantages. But personality aside, success with a language will always depend on your attitude towards learning itself and how much time you put in. The person that has a better chance of becoming fluent will always be the one that puts in more time to learn, practice, get feedback, adjust with the feedback, and not so much about whether they're extroverted or introverted. But what if you're an introvert who wants to be able to speak more? Is there a way to become more extroverted? Part 2. How to speak more, even if you're an introvert. There are ways to become more extroverted, at least more than your usual self. How? Well, first, by learning a language. When you learn a language, you have a natural desire to connect with native speakers, even if you're shy. Also, native speakers tend to be very supportive and welcoming when you're trying to learn their language. So even if you're shy, it's kind of hard to stay shy in the long run when the people you speak with are so encouraging. In your native language, even if you know a million ways to start a conversation, you might not try to speak to someone because you're worried about whether you have something clever to say or the timing or some other social aspect. But in another language, where you may only know a few phrases, you're not bogged down by that. You just do the best you can with the few phrases you have. Plus, learning a language alone gives you a chance to reinvent yourself. To learn another language is to acquire another soul, as the quote goes. So, learning a language alone puts you on a path towards becoming more extroverted. But if you want specific tips, here are 5 ways to speak more, even if you're an introvert. Number 1. Learn how to listen like an introvert. How can this help you to speak more? Introverts tend to listen more, and the better listener you become, the better questions you can ask, which results in a more meaningful conversation, which also means more speaking time for you. So you can speak more, even if you consider yourself an introvert, by listening well and asking relevant and pertinent questions. By the way, if you want to learn how to ask questions, then check out our top 25 questions you need to know, where you'll learn all about what to ask and answer regarding the most common conversational questions. Number 2, increase speaking time and confidence through experience. Simply put, the more experiences you have in life or experience with certain topics, the more knowledgeable you become. And as your life or work experiences grow, so will your audience. You'll find people coming to you to talk to you. It could be about business, travel, or just your own life stories. If a conversation is about France, and if you've been to France, the conversation will gravitate towards you. Having all that experience makes things easy for you as an introvert. People will come to you, so you don't have to find them. For a language learner, the tricks are to 1. Be knowledgeable about something, and 2. Be able to talk about your experience in the target language. Number 3. Find the right audience. Imagine talking to someone that's not interested in learning languages. They'll give you 100 reasons why they can't learn, never reasons why it might work out for them, right? But when you're talking to an audience that's interested in languages, then you can have a conversation that could go on for hours. So find the right audience to share with. With language learning, it means you need to find native speakers that share the same hobbies or interests as you. Number 4, talk about what you know best. The introvert-extrovert dynamic also depends on how much you know about a topic and what you're most comfortable with. There are topics you may not know enough about, so you won't talk as much. But even the biggest introvert can become a confident speaker once you touch upon a topic they know well. That's where they shine. So if your goal is to be more extroverted, then focus on the things you know about. Or you can always gain experience in topics you don't know much about so you can speak more. Number 5, create opportunities to speak. How? Well, it's hard to stop a stranger and start talking with them without any context, right? But what if you need help finding something at a store, or have a question about a dish at a restaurant? Then it's much easier since you're there with a purpose. So you can create these opportunities by going to a restaurant from the country that speaks your target language and speaking with the staff, or asking a taxi driver a question, or asking staff at an information booth a question. So to recap, if you want to speak more, even if you're an introvert, 1. Listen like an introvert. 2. Increase speaking time and confidence through experience. 3. Find the right audience. 4. Talk about what you know best. And 5. Create opportunities to speak. So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about how tipping points will bring you closer to your language goals. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye!
Cześć, mam na imię Joanna i opowiem Wam dziś o największym i najważniejszym święcie w Polsce, o Wigilii Bożego Narodzenia. W tym czasie zwykle wracamy w rodzinne strony, zasiadamy do obiadu w rodzinnym gronie i obiadamy się daniami, których większość przygotowujemy tylko i wyłącznie na tę okazję, spędzając na to kilka dni przed samą Wigilią. Ubieramy także choinkę i dostajemy prezenty. W pewnych regionach Polski prezentów nie przynosi święty Mikołaj, lecz ktoś inny. Kto? Podam Wam odpowiedź na końcu tego filmu. W Polsce Wigilia była zawsze dniem wyjątkowym i działy się wtedy nadzwyczajne rzeczy. Duchy zmarłych odwiedzały swoje rodziny, to też nie wolno było siadać na krzesła bez wcześniejszego dmuchnięcia na nie, ani używać ostrych narzędzi. Woda w studniach zmieniała się w miód lub wino, a zwierzęta domowe rozmawiały ludzkim głosem. Do dziś dzieci nasłuchują, co też powie im ich kotek czy piesek. Zalecano też kąpiel w rzece w wigilijny ranek, by zapewnić sobie zdrowie i energię w kolejnym roku. Dziś Wigilia jest nadal dniem specjalnym i magicznym na swój sposób. Dniem obchodzonym nie tylko przez osoby religijne. Istnieje cała masa tradycji, które przetrwały do dziś i jedną z najważniejszych jest przygotowanie minimum 12 różnych dań na wigilijny obiad. Wśród nich królują ryby w przeróżnych formach, pieczone, duszone, w galarecie, a także kasze i zboża, sałatki warzywne i orzechy. Jeśli spędzacie święta w Polsce, koniecznie spróbujcie rybę po grecku, pierogi z kapustą i grzybami, kutie, barszcz z uszkami oraz ciasta, jak piernik i makowiec. Przypuszczam, że wielu z Was zastanawia się teraz, gdzie podział się indyk. I tu niespodzianka. W Polsce nie jadamy mięsa w Wigilię. Kolejną tradycją jest dzielenie się opłatkiem przed rozpoczęciem obiadu. Każdy z gości dostaje kawałek tego pięknie zdobionego wafelka i składa życzenia pozostałym domownikom, jednemu za drugim, łamiąc przy tym opłatek kawałek po kawałku. Jest to bardzo piękna tradycja, gdyż nie życzymy nic dla siebie, lecz dla innych. Pewnie każdy z Was słyszał historię o narodzeniu Jezusa w Betlejem i o 3 królach podążających tam za gwiazdą. W wielu polskich domach siada się do kolacji po tym, jak pojawi się pierwsza gwiazdka na niebie, oczywiście tylko przy bezchmurnym niebie. A teraz odpowiedź na wcześniejsze pytanie. W pewnych regionach Polski prezentów nie przynosi święty Mikołaj, lecz ktoś inny. Kto? W wielu regionach Polski, jak Kaszuby, Kujawy, Wielkopolska, tym, który przynosi wigilijne prezenty grzecznym dzieciom, jest Gwiazdor. Jeśli zaś ktoś był niegrzeczny, obaj, święty Mikołaj i Gwiazdor, zamiast prezentu zostawią pod choinką rózgę. I jak Wam się podobała ta lekcja? Dowiedzieliście się czegoś interesującego? Czy w Waszym kraju też świętuje się Wigilię Bożego Narodzenia? Zostawcie komentarz na polishpod101.com. Do zobaczenia następnym razem!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is, can busy people actually learn a language? You yourself probably have an answer to this question, right? But whether you can or can't actually has a bit more to do with your mindset than anything else. And in this guide, you'll discover 1. Is it possible for busy people to learn a language and the mindset needed? 2. Mental bandwidth, the one thing that can make or break your language goals. And 3. 5 mindset tricks to make time for language. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Talking Online PDF cheat sheet. Learn the must-know internet slang and all the internet-related vocab and phrases in your target language with this PDF cheat sheet. And second, the 40 words and phrases for ordering food writing workbook. With this free resource, you'll pick up must-know words and phrases for the restaurant and practice writing them out as well. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Can busy people actually learn a language? Part 1. Is it possible for busy people to learn a language and the mindset needed? So, can busy people actually learn a language? What do you think? Leave us a comment and let us know. As much as we want to say yes, it's more of a yes or no depending on the person. Why yes? Yes, because many of our members are busy and are learning with our system. And some of you who are watching also fall into this camp. But it also depends on the person because it's more of a mindset thing. Either you think you have time or you don't. For example, many of our members fall into the group of can learn and can find the time, even if they're busy. If you're busy and still want to learn, if you look around, you can always find 5 or 10 minutes a day, like on a commute. Now, if your mindset is the opposite, if you think you can't learn a language or you don't have time, you won't even try, even if you had a resource that was proven to work. Part 2. Mental bandwidth, the one thing that can make or break your language goals. And if you think about it, if you had all the time in the world but felt like you couldn't learn a language, you wouldn't try either. Again, this is why it comes down to the mindset and why it all depends on each individual person. Either you think you can or you think you can't. But it may not always be this black and white either. It can also depend on your mental bandwidth too. Think back to your school days, those few days before exams. It got really busy and you had to stop everything to study, right? You were probably thinking, if I can just get through studying this week and take the test, then next week I can finally start relaxing and doing other things. And if someone asked you if you wanted to hang out, you would say no, because you're busy. But chances are you still managed to spend at least 30 minutes on YouTube or social media. Meaning you did have some time, even if you were busy. But the test was occupying your mind and taking up all that bandwidth. So it's also possible that we just don't have the mental bandwidth because we're overwhelmed. And this is a genuine reason for not being able to learn when you're busy. Don't worry, in the next part, we'll show you how to get some bandwidth so that you don't feel overwhelmed. Part 3. 5 mindset tricks to make time for language. So if you've gotten this far, you understand that it is possible to start learning a language, even if you're busy, that you can find the time, but it mostly comes down to your mindset. So how can you develop the mindset? So when you're too busy, it feels like you're overwhelmed and like you don't have control of your time. Well, there are a few things you can do to gain some control of your time, have some breathing room, and learn a bit of language. First, always set small, measurable goals. This is something that we talk a lot about here. For example, learn for 10, 15, or 20 minutes every day. Learn 100 words in 1 month, which means learning 3 to 4 words a day. And the mindset behind this is just being realistic with your goals and what you can do. Because if you're busy, you may not have 1 or 2 hours. And this is a strict rule, especially when starting out with new goals and languages. Always stick to small, measurable goals. Second, lowering your goals and expectations is okay when things get super busy. If you couldn't learn all 100 words for the month and only got up to 40 or 60, that's okay. If you tried learning on Monday and Tuesday but skipped Wednesday and Thursday, that's okay. Sometimes you have to shift priorities, and prioritizing things is a secret to a successful life. You may not get to the goal you wanted to achieve today, but you can get to it next week. Third, it's okay to put language on pause if life gets in the way. Just like with that last point, you can always come back and reach your goal a little later. We often see learners put language on pause, come back later. Some even come back years later. But the key is to come back. Fourth, avoid the all-or-nothing mindset at all costs. And an all-or-nothing mindset is something you'll see in beginners and perfectionists. When you have this mindset, you'll say, language learning requires hours, so there's no point in learning for a few minutes today. But something is better than nothing, and even 5 to 10 minutes of review adds up in the grand scheme. And in the grand scheme, it's more important to be consistent, even if it's just for a minute a day, rather than study for hours once a week. The brain just doesn't work that way. Fifth, Do you have a slowdown or relaxing routine that you do on the weekends or whenever you have free time? And if you didn't do it, you'd feel overwhelmed? Leave us a comment and let us know what it is. For some, it could be reading, watching TV, or going to a cafe and doing nothing for a bit. You're there on your own, you don't have much to do in front of you, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes. And if you're settled, you start feeling in control. And that's the point you have some mental bandwidth. You can start doing some time management and plan your week out. You can put in a few minutes of language learning. But if you don't slow down and if you feel overwhelmed, you could have the easiest possible way to learn a language, and you still wouldn't do it. So, back to you. If you were busy, do you think you'd be able to learn a language? Leave us a comment. So, thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Do you record yourself speaking your target language? If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye!
Cześć! Mam na imię Joanna. W poprzedniej części tej serii rozmawialiśmy o Wigilii, więc nadszedł czas na samo święto Bożego Narodzenia, które obchodzimy w ciągu 2 dni, 25 i 26 grudnia. W Polsce są to dni wolne od pracy, więc każdy z nas ma czas na ciąg dalszy obżarstwa świątecznymi pysznościami. Jak na pewno zauważycie niebawem, prawie wszystkie polskie święta kręcą się wokół spotkań rodzinnych oraz obiadania się świątecznymi specjałami. Co w Polsce nazywamy pasterką? Podam Wam odpowiedź na końcu tego filmu. Boże Narodzenie w Polsce to czas na kolejne odwiedziny. W Wigilię zwykle zbieramy się w domach dziadków, a w kolejne 2 dni świąt zapraszamy gości do siebie lub też wędrujemy na obiady i kolacje do rodziny lub też przyjaciół i znajomych. Co wtedy robimy? Oczywiście jemy. Boże Narodzenie w polskim stylu zawsze wiąże się ze zdobyciem kilku dodatkowych kilogramów, bo wierzcie mi, nie ma nikogo, kto się oprze bigosowi, pieczystemu, karpiowi w galarecie czy słodkościom jak sernik z rodzynkami, makowiec czy bogato zdobionymi lukrem pierniczką. W tym okresie możemy też zobaczyć tak zwanych kolędników, których przybycie wróży szczęście. W grupie tej zwykle są pasterze, anioł, 3 królowie, którzy wędrowali z darami do Betlejem, także postacie zwierzeń ludowych jak diabeł, turoń, śmierć. Bardzo ważnym elementem jest także wielka obrotowa gwiazda niesiona na długim kiju. Dawniej odwiedzali domy. Obecnie w dużych miastach można ich zobaczyć na osiedlach, kiedy to śpiewają polskie kolędy, za co by zapewnić sobie szczęście, koniecznie trzeba ich nagrodzić drobną zapłatą. Kolejnym nieodzownym elementem polskich świąt jest bożonarodzeniowa szopka. Możemy je zobaczyć w przeróżnych miejscach prawie każdego miasta, a także w kościołach. Szopki przedstawiają scenę narodzin Jezusa, zwykle w stajence, otoczonego zwierzętami jak koza, koń, owca, wraz z Marią i Józefem i 3 królami składającymi dary. Największą szopką w Polsce i Europie jest szopka w Katowicach, w dzielnicy Panewniki, która ma około 20 metrów wysokości i 25 metrów szerokości. Kolejną jest szopka w Poznaniu, która zawiera ponad 250 ruchomych figur. Natomiast w Krakowie co roku od blisko 70 lat na rynku głównym odbywa się konkurs szopek krakowskich, ręcznie wykonywanych ze sklejki, drewna, tektury i kolorowej folii aluminiowej. Ciekawym elementem każdego konkursu jest parada uczestników ze swoimi szopkami. A teraz odpowiedź na wcześniejsze pytanie. Co w Polsce nazywamy pasterką? Pasterka w Polsce to specjalna i prawdopodobnie najbardziej uczęszczana msza w roku. Odbywa się w kościołach o północy w Wigilię Bożego Narodzenia. Młodzi często pasterką nazywają również spotkanie ze znajomymi zaraz po rodzinnym obiedzie. I jak Wam się podobała ta lekcja? Dowiedzieliście się czegoś interesującego? Jak u Was obchodzi się Boże Narodzenie? Zostawcie komentarz na polishpad101.com. Do zobaczenia następnym razem!
Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Polish ebook before it's gone.